Hey there, it's Drew with FranChoice. What I'm going to do is talk to you a little bit about a recent story that I experienced working with a former successful corporate executive coming out of the corporate world who wanted to look at starting their own business. And specifically, what happened was this candidate was primarily focused on existing franchise businesses. And what came out of a lot of the work that we did together was we decided that, or we didn't decide, they decided through a lot of conversations, discussions, and questions and deep thought that actually investing in a new business and a new franchise was going to be a better fit for them. And I see this a lot. I see that a lot of times folks come to me and they say, hey, Drew, I want to focus on an existing business with existing cash flow. There's P&Ls I can review. I can see the financials. Basically, I understand it's a proven, safer investment, and I'm going to walk into an income stream. And all those thoughts are accurate if you can properly capitalize an existing business that has an attractive income stream and cash flow. Because guess what? There's going to be a significant premium attached to that cash flow. So when you look at the options of starting a business either from scratch or investing in a franchise or buying an existing business, buying an existing business is the most expensive. And rightfully so, it should be. Any business owner that builds a successful business that's producing a healthy amount of cash flow and has been for years on years on years, and it's a very predictable and reliable business, they should get paid a significant amount of money for that business. So the question is, do you want to be the person that gives them that premium? And or are there other opportunities out there that might be a better fit for what it is that you want to achieve? And specifically what this story relates around is capital and properly capitalizing a business. So the details, I'll just kind of give you the details of the business and talk a little bit about kind of what transpired to for this candidate that kind of brought them to the conclusion that actually investing in a new franchise was going to be a better fit for them. So the candidate's profile is successful corporate executive working for a large company here in Charlotte, North Carolina, where I am, and was recently downsized. And this particular individual kind of made the commitment that said, hey, I'm not going back into the corporate world. I'm going to do my own business, whether it's purchasing an existing business or something, but I'm doing something on my own. So they were initially focused on an existing business. And so they came to me, they had found this existing franchise on their own. The business was a very successful one and a very profitable one and a big one. It was doing about $1.2 to $1.3 million in sales, spitting off about a 20% EBITDA or cash flow. So they had about $250,000 in discretionary cash flow, and they were asking about $1 million for the business. And there's also real estate involved, but that they were able to, the owners owned the building as well, but they were willing to sell the business without the candidate having to purchase the real estate. So $1 million for the business, right? For the goodwill, for the historicals of this business, for the cash flow of that $250,000. Well, they're asking $1 million. Well, this individual had $100,000 cash that they were comfortable investing of their own money into a business. So nowhere near that $1 million, right? So we kind of talked through. I said, well, hey, how do you plan to capitalize this? You need $1 million. And they said, well, I'm going to go get a bank loan for 20% cash injection. So I'm going to go get $1 million bank loan with a $200,000 cash injection. So I'm going to have that $800,000 spread. And I said, okay, where are you going to get that extra $100,000 then? And they said, well, I'm going to get it from my family. And it was going to be an equity financed deal, meaning that their family was going to contribute $100,000 of their cash to become 50-50 partners, to have 50% equity of the business. So what that got him is the down payment, right? So what we kind of started to play back a little bit more was, or drill down a little bit deeper, was what that purchase structure does to the actual cash flow that he thinks that he was kind of attracted to initially, right? So when you're taking out when you have an $800,000 debt payment, that shakes out to about $9,000 a month in debt, which is like $110,000 a year in debt service. So off that $250,000 in cash flow, take $110,000 of debt service out of it. So you're left with about $140,000 in cash flow. Well, off of that 140, because it's a 50-50 split in equity financing, this candidate was only going to get 50% of the cash flow. And maybe they were going to have a little bit of a salary built in or whatnot, but let's just assume that it was the 50% of the 140 left over after debt service. That's a $70,000 a year income stream. So this individual was going to be levered over $1 million in total capital cost, once you include the amount of interest that they would be paying back over that 10 years, for a $70,000 income stream. Now, I didn't tell him that, but we kind of just went through the process of dissecting that deal and looking at it from the different angles, and they came to realize that, hey, maybe purchasing an existing business with the budget I have is not the best option for me. And so once they kind of came to that realization, we started to focus on franchises that were in a position that were the franchises that fit a much better budget, so they would be properly capitalized, not just for the initial startup expenses, but for the working capital and whatnot. They'd have 100% equity, and they'd have a much bigger upside in terms of building an income stream that would far exceed the $1 million it would have cost them to buy a $70,000 income stream, right? So I tell you this example. This is a real life example. This happened about a month ago, and when you start talking about equity financing and having partners and looking at existing businesses where it can, you're buying a healthy income stream, but you're paying a significant premium for that. A lot of times that might not be the best fit for the outcome that somebody wants to achieve. And so, the point of this is that when you look at those existing businesses and you see the cash flow stream and you think, hey, I'm going to walk right into that cash flow stream. Well, if it's a healthy cash flow stream, how you purchase that cash flow stream will determine a lot of what happens to that cash flow stream once you are the owner of the business. And is it going to be worth it, right? Or does investing in a franchise that's a good fit for your skills and ambitions and whatnot, is that a better fit for you to kind of have a much larger upside in terms of building a business to where you can have an income stream, have 100% equity, so that once you build it to a very attractive income stream, you have this cash flowing asset that you can sell now, right? You can be the seller. You can be the one commanding the premium to sellers for whatever the market value, whatever somebody would pay for whatever cash flow stream that was. So, anyways, just kind of a different way to look at some of the contrasts of purchasing an existing business versus investing in a new business, and some of the thoughts that go along with that.